Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for joining this week's Stay Connected webinar. The topic's really exciting, the Million Girls Moonshot I've been hearing about, and I'm so excited to learn more about this project. So thank you for joining us today, and thank you to our presenters, Anna Wishart with Beyond School Bells, Michelle Clark with Union Pacific, and Ms. Miki, I wanted to make sure I'm pronouncing it correctly, Montgomery with the Malone Community Center. So thank you so much for your time and the work you're doing with After School. And I'll let Anna take it away. Anna, whenever you're ready for me to share the PowerPoint, let me know and I'll pull up my screen.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and share, Kim? Well, hello, everybody. So excited to talk to you today about the Million Girl Moonshot Initiative. And I'm really excited to have some of our advisory board members for this Million Girl Moonshot Initiative with us today. And so first of all, my name's Anna Wishart, and I am Director of Partnerships with Beyond School Bells. And I think many of you are familiar with us. We serve as Nebraska's statewide after school and summer learning network. And I also have Lauren Mott with me here today, and she is part of our team at Beyond School Bells as well. And then I'm very excited to have Miss Miki, who works with the Malone Center in Lincoln, which serves elementary youth all the way up through high school youth in incredible after school opportunities. And then Michelle is with us as well from Union Pacific. And so excited to have her here as well and give us kind of the business perspective of why it's important that companies are partners with our educators to ensure that girls and youth who have been left behind from not having access to quality STEM programming get that programming so we can close some of the gender and diversity gaps that exist in STEM careers. So anyway, let's go ahead and start. And Kim, if you will switch to the next slide, that would be amazing. So the Million Girls Moonshot, it's a national initiative, and it is designed to increase diversity and equity in STEM. This Moonshot initiative is unique in both its scale and its approach. And so the Moonshot initiative involves a wide range of partners working together to break down the systemic barriers that have kept girls and youth of color out of STEM for way too long. It is led nationally by the STEM Next Opportunity Fund and the Charles Stewart Mott Foundation in partnership with the Intel Foundation and the Gordon and Betty Moore Foundation. And it involves charitable organizations and technology leaders, including NASA, Qualcomm, Technovation, STEM Connector, National Girls Collaborative Project, Jobs for the Future, TechBridge Girls, and Lydia Hill Philanthropies. And more are joining every day to provide supportive grant funding, in-kind resources, and mentors for this type of programming. If you'll click to the next slide. So the Million Girl Moonshot is providing grant funding and in-kind resources such as technical assistance, access to educational resources, and STEM mentors to the after-school networks in all 50 states so that we can provide high-quality, immersive STEM learning opportunities to after-school students. And the goal is that we engage 1 million more girls and youth of color in STEM learning across the country. And it's just really exciting to think that every single one of our network partners in all 50 states has joined in on this initiative, just to think about the scale at which we will be able to positively impact girls' lives across the country with high quality STEM education, support, and mentors. Next slide. So Nebraska, we joined the Million Girl Moonshot initiative in 2019. That's when it was launched in the fall of 2019. And, you know, our goal is to be a leader across the country as a state in really helping to be able to end after our 5-year goal and have 1 million more girls engaged. So we're taking that very seriously as a state as well. And that's why we're reaching out to you all today to make sure that you know about this opportunity and see if you're interested in partnering with us and bringing some of these quality educational opportunities to the youth that you serve. We are able to provide multi-year grants across the state to programs that are interested in participating. We've received about $100,000 from national funders to be able to do this work. And so we're excited to be providing some mini grants across the state. And again, if that is something you're interested in, we really want to partner with you on that. Next slide. So one of the key reasons for this work, let me make sure that we're on the right side. Perfect. One of the key reasons for this work, and you can kind of look at this chart here, women make up half of the total US college educated workforce of about 58.9 million workers nationally, but represent much lower shares in computer and mathematical sciences, about 27%. That's a huge career gap when it comes to women in STEM fields. And what we're seeing is that by 2025, there will be more than 2 million STEM jobs that are going to go unfilled in the US due to a lack of skilled candidates. And so when you're looking at these two statistics, where you're looking at a huge gender gap and diversity gap that exists in STEM fields, and then you're also looking at the workforce needs for a lot of high-tech STEM jobs that are going to be unfulfilled, there's a huge problem there, and we're excited about the opportunity for after school collaborations like the Million Girl Moonshot to be one of the key solutions to that problem. If you want to go to the next slide. So just drilling down a little bit more into the statistics, and Michelle is going to talk a little bit more about this in the following slide as she kind of drills down on specifically Union Pacific and some of their company needs and goals. But you know, when we talk about the gaps that exist for women in fields, it's even more significant for women of color. Only 2% of women engineers are Latina and 2% are Black. And that's a huge diversity issue across our country. And it's one that it also exists in Nebraska as well. And again, it is one of the reasons why we're so excited about the work that we're doing to try to change that statistic. Again, women, just to reiterate, women, especially Black and Latina women, continue to be underrepresented in high quality, high paid STEM careers. They are not receiving degrees in engineering and computer science, and rates are flat or dropping, hovering between 18 to 28% of women receiving degrees in engineering and computer science, which again are going to be the fields where there are major workforce shortages in the future. Latinas and Black women are earning only 3% of the degrees in engineering and 5% in computer science nationally. And of the women scientists, again, only 16% are engineers. And again, 2% of those are Black and 2% of those are Latina. So this statistic for me is one of the driving reasons why I'm so excited we're working on this initiative in Nebraska, because we really do have an opportunity to impact young girls in elementary school all the way through high school with after school quality STEM programming to be one of the major change agents in those statistics. And so with that, I wanted to turn over and to the next slide and have Michelle Clark again, talk a little bit about the work that Union Pacific is doing and why she has agreed, and we're so thankful she has, and we're so grateful she has, to be on our Million Girl Moonshot Advisory Board. First, I just wanted to tell you that Michelle Clark is the General Director in the Technology Department at Union Pacific Railroad. She currently leads premium operations and is responsible for the business partner relationship and providing technical solutions for intermodal and automotive terminal operations, inventory management, and asset management. And she's also responsible for the centralized data science and analytics organization providing optimization, artificial intelligence, and machine learning solutions across the company. So as you can see, Michelle is an amazing rock star in the STEM field in her career, and is going to be an inspiration for a lot of young girls who are looking to go into similar fields. So thank you, Michelle.
Well, thank you, Anna. That is a very kind introduction for sure to be called a rock star. It's awesome. I'd like to start out first by just sharing with you a little bit about Union Pacific's diversity and inclusion journey. And in our efforts here at Union Pacific, we are focused on believing that diversity is a foundational business imperative, right? It is a critical requirement for us to compete in this global market and to be able to stay relevant with everyone else and make sure that we can succeed. Next slide, please. I'd like to share with you some statistics. These are from major consulting companies who have evaluated the benefits of diversity in terms of success of corporate America. And the statistics are obvious that diversity is important to enabling businesses in their success and being able to be more successful than others. But from our perspective, the bottom line is the fact that it is just simply the right and it is the ethical thing to do. And so we have many initiatives going on that are casting a wider net in terms of how we can improve our diversity here within our company, and being an organization where every individual feels like they can come as themselves to work every single day. And there's a lot of things that we have to overcome in corporate America, and we are striving to bring that confidence in every single one of us when we show up to work every day, that we can be ourselves, that we can bring our best selves forward in order to be able to contribute to the company. And you know, the ability for us to be able to achieve the employee diversity that we hope to achieve means that we do need to start younger, and that we do need to keep this pipeline rolling from all of our elementaries all the way through to coming to work in our corporations and our businesses here in Nebraska and elsewhere. Moving on to our next slide, there's some perspectives that we have that we may not have had in the past. And so I think it's about ensuring that we change the way that we look at how we go about supporting our diversity numbers and improving those to the goals that we have set for our organization. And so it's not about keeping things the same, it's about looking at things differently. So when we look to how we can hire more people and hire people that are more diverse, we have to cast our net wider. So we do need to take advantage of virtual postings, and we do need to start participating, and I shouldn't say do need to, we are participating in conferences and career fairs that are targeted to specific races and ethnicities. And we have to have that in order to keep our pools of applicants to the position where we have the ability to achieve those diversity numbers. Our goal is to increase our women to be double the percentage that we are right now, and to increase our diversity numbers to a 40% diversity percentage here at Union Pacific. And it's a few years out for us, and that's difficult as an organization that is basing this on attrition and not necessarily, you know, very large growth of additional positions. So we will not change our standards, but we do need to relook at what's relevant. And I'm sure you guys are going to recognize some of these statistics I'm going to be mentioning, but there is an HP report that shows that men will apply for a job at only 60% of the qualifications of that job description, and women will not apply for a job until they achieve 100% of the qualifications of that job description or that position description. And we found that within our own internal organization. And by evaluating our own requirements and how we are posting for those jobs, we've realized that we are not getting the net of individuals that we wanted to. And so it's causing us to better define the relevance of requirements and keeping those into consideration to make sure that our applicant pools not lower our standards, but we will there. And we know that there have been historical trends in terms of men being promoted based on potential and women for their experience and track record, right? And that's a cultural issue that we all need to strive toward and work to change. And then from a perspective of quotas, right, we will not do that, but we have a mission to reflect America, and we are constantly asking ourselves, why do we not reflect the communities that we serve? And that is our objective, is to represent the communities that we serve. Next, our most, one of our very proud things that we offer here at Union Pacific, we have 9 employee resource groups. And we have very sophisticated employee resource group. Our Vanguard group is our Black Employee Network group, and that group is more than 40 years old and were established in 1979. And these employee resource groups offer a number of benefits in terms of continuing to educate all of us here within the company on cultural awareness and issues, as well as celebrating the history of many of our organizations and the history that we bring to continue to be able to improve our leadership roles and skills by offering these employee resource groups and having people participate in them. And so just to, you can stay on this slide, Kim, but just to kind of talk about, well, what are we doing in the space of STEM and diversity? And Union Pacific, from a philanthropy standpoint, has set some pretty high goals as well. And that is to ensure that in our Community Ties program, by the year 2023, that all organizations are demonstrating a commitment to advancing diversity and equity, and choosing to be able to support financially those organizations who do. And I have an example of one for you. Our Community Ties program recently partnered with the Manufacturing Institute, and there is an initiative that we have called Careers on Track. And that initiative supports workforce development and career solutions for women. And of course, this includes our STEM careers. And so that program also has an interesting feature of it where they're offering micro grants for young women. And within our tech department itself, I did talk quite a bit about trying to cast that wider net in terms of bringing employees into Union Pacific and ensuring that we have the diversity that we want to be able to achieve those goals. And so we do spend time at our university recruiting level working with minority and female groups in order to be able to cast a broader net. We're also working on some alternative programs to four-year degrees, and that is providing us with, again, a much broader net in terms of diverse candidates. And by this, I'm talking about apprenticeship programs who educate individuals to become data scientists or application programmers or web developers and so forth. We're also, looking at immersive boot camps, and we have some work going on with some areas that are offering that type of program. But those things also kind of extend down into our high school students as well. And so when we have these types of programs in the community, we do like to work with them and then bring people in for internships. So we've been able to coordinate some of those types of things. And we're also evaluating two-year degrees. So I think that, as corporate America is looking at that gap and that shortage that Anna spoke to us about in terms of, resources, in particular, looking for those diverse resources, corporate America needs to recognize that, again, we have to cast our net wider, and we need to be able to evaluate those points that I mentioned before, right? That we are considering that there are alternative methods that people go through to be able to enter into the field of STEM, and that those people are bringing a capability to the table that may not look exactly like a four-year degree program, but is also very relevant and able for people to be successful in jobs. And then, of course, we're engaged in our community as well. And of course, our participation in, the Million Girl Moonshot Advisory Board is something that we like to do to stay connected to the organization, but it also helps us stay relevant in terms of the activities that we do in the organization ourselves. We have participated in the past in Code Crush, which is a STEM immersion experience. It's sponsored by UNO. If you don't know about that, do check that out. I mean, it's something offered to, across the state of Nebraska. Young girls and their teachers are brought in to participate in that program. We've been a sponsor of it in the past, and it's just a high energy, very exciting opportunity. We have partnered with the Urban League and Girls Inc., and we have done some visits to Union Pacific pre-pandemic. And some workshops for them and showing them, what happens in our mechanical department and our engineering department, and again, within our tech organization, and have offered our own internal, STEM events to some students around our area as well. So the pipeline is what matters. And it's so important that the work that you do out there with after school programs and introducing girls to STEM and keeping them engaged so that, we don't hit those typical numbers where they tend to think that they shouldn't continue to pursue, that type of education and career is just so important for keeping them engaged. We need them, our communities need them, our states need us, our country needs that in order to succeed in terms of the job market that we have that's so important.
Well, thank you so much, Michelle. It's always so inspiring to see the commitment that Union Pacific has, and we are so excited that you're collaborating with us across the state on the Million Girl Moonshot Initiative. Kim, if you go to the next slide, Michelle spoke to the idea of a pipeline, and that's exactly what we are, what the Million Girl Moonshot Initiative is. It's a recognition that in order to achieve some of these goals that Michelle has talked about and I talked about earlier in terms of closing the gender gap that exists in STEM careers and the diversity gap, we need to really start young by encouraging young kids to be engaged in STEM activities. And as you all know, I don't need to speak in depth about this, but 80% of a kid's waking hours is spent out of school. That's 80% of a kid's life in their K through 12 experience is spent out of school. And that is such a rich time for us to do these kind of in-depth initiatives like the Million Girl Moonshot Initiative. So if you'll go to the next slide, Kim. So we recognize that there are major systemic barriers that exist for girls and youth of color to pursue STEM interests in their K through 12 experience. The wealthiest 20% of families spend almost 7 times more on enrichment activities outside of school for their children than do families with lowest income. So that by the time that a lot of girls and low-income youth reach the 6th grade, which is middle school, they're entering into middle school. There are some kids, there's a huge opportunity gap that exists for some kids where there's likely that some kids have spent 6,000 more hours learning than kids who are born into poverty. So that's the equivalent of 5 years of schooling. And so that's a real huge need that we have and a huge opportunity gap that exists, and one that all of the work that you're doing across the state in terms of your after school programs is helping to close that opportunity gap. One more statistic that I wanted to make sure I put out there was that 75% of Latinx and African-American students attend high poverty schools. So we're talking a lot about when we're talking about those kids who have a 6,000 or more hour learning gap from other students, that does tend to fall on African-American youth and Latina youth. And then girls with less educated parents or lower socioeconomic status are also, we're seeing statistics that they're not pursuing advanced STEM coursework in high school. So again, there are opportunity gaps that are existing in youth, especially youth of color and girls K through 12 experience. And we really see after school as a place to close that gap. Kim, if you will go to the next slide. Great, thank you. We recognize that the COVID pandemic was very challenging for a lot of people, and I want to thank all of the after-school providers for your flexibility and resilience in serving youth during the COVID-19 crisis last year. I think the whole world is woken up to the fact that out-of-school time learning and summer learning is critical for getting school students back on track, but also for really rethinking how we are providing quality opportunities for youth that can create a pipeline and change the trajectory of their future careers and success in life. If you'll change the slide, I'm going to speed up a little bit since we're coming to a close. And then finally, before I turn it over to Ms. Miki, I just wanted to throw out some more specific statistics around after school and STEM that you can use when you are talking to community members, local corporations as well, about why it's important that if they're engaged and want to be engaged in this Million Girl Moonshot, why it's important that they're investing in out of school time experiences. 80%, so youth that participate in quality out of school time STEM experiences, 80% of them gain a deeper understanding of science careers, 78% increased their interest in STEM, 73% developed a STEM identity where they have a personal belief that they will do well or succeed in science, and 72% developed perseverance and critical thinking skills. So these are some of the reasons why there is a national movement recognizing that when young girls and youth of color participate in quality STEM activities, we will see successful statistics come from that will benefit them for years to come, but also benefit the goals that our communities have and our companies have. So if you'll go to the next slide. So I'm really excited to introduce Ms. Miki Montgomery because she is a person who is leading the effort on engaging young girls and youth of color in these kind of quality STEM activities. And so I definitely wanted to have her have the time to kind of talk to you about some of that work she's doing. But first, I just wanted to give a quick introduction. So Ms. Miki Montgomery, she is currently the Director of Youth Programs at the Malone Center. She has been working in the field of education for 28 years and has a broad range of experience teaching children early childhood through elementary school. Before accepting her position at the Malone, she was coaching pre-service teachers as a lecturer lead teacher for Ruth Staples, which shout out to Ruth Staples, that was my preschool. And then she just has an incredible passion in a lot of different movements. She was an activist that worked for the Black Lives Matter movement by educating and empowering the community, public school teachers and youth of color on the importance of equity and non-biased education in the classroom. So I am so excited to have Ms. Miki on our advisory board as well and have her talk to you a little bit about the work they're doing at the Malone Center.
Thank you, Anna, so much. And I will do my best to keep it short. Can everybody hear me okay? Okay. All right. So first of all, and when I say we, I mean, as a youth program at the Malone, I do serve both the after school, school age youth, which is kindergarten through 8th grade, and also the preschool youth. So we have an educational preschool program that we partner with Ruth Staples Child Development Lab Center. And so we're starting early as much as possible. But Beyond School Bells and Senator Anna Wishart has really opened up our program for our brown and Black girls of color. And some of the programs that we have that you see here for Curly Girls, Natural Hair Care Club, Peer Group for girls 5th through 8th grade, which is under our Minority Mental Health Initiative. Beyond School Bells also helped us be able to provide scholarships for some of our older girls to Camp Summer Gold, which gives them experiences in outdoors and environmental education. The Career Academy at SCC that is normally only for juniors and seniors of high school. We have our 5th through 8th grade, both girls and boys going out there, and they are loving it. Oh my gosh, they are loving it so much. This week they're building garden boxes. I think this morning TCA came out to our facility and helps them make bottle rockets, and they're going to have bottle rocket competitions. And just yesterday, one of the young girls, she was bringing home some plants. They had these buckets. I'm not sure what was in the buckets, but they were all different kinds of plants that they were bringing home that they learned about at TCA, and get to go home and extend that learning even in their home environment. And they were so excited about it. And they have ownership in it, which is really exciting for us to see, as far as a lot of the lack of experiences, Anna, like you were talking about, that our underserved population, they just don't get these experiences. Parents aren't out there, first of all, with the money to, but also the time. A lot of our parents work 2 or 3 jobs. They have, anywhere from 3 to 6 children and cousins and grandmas and grandpas living in the household, where this is just not a top priority for them to be engaged in experiences like these. We're also partnering with Girls Inc. in Omaha, who kind of have the same understanding and initiative, propelling our underserved brown and Black girls forward with other experiences and just building confidence in them. Recently, I'm really excited about the partnership that we have with the Lincoln Police Department. We're calling it You, Me, and LPD, so that we can bridge that gap of misunderstanding about police officers and law enforcement because of the violence that has happened, that even propelled the Black Lives Matter movement. By the way, the Black Lives Matter movement is different than the Black Lives Matter organization. I do want to make that 100% clear. But they're coming in and they're building relationships with our kids, and they're going to start some programming and some what we are going to call, I don't want to say therapy sessions, but just some really good mental health practices to get over the stigma that police officers have of Black and brown girls and boys, and vice versa, that they have of police officers. Black is Beautiful Nebraska is an organization that was started by a young junior Black female in high school, where she's celebrating the beauty of, just brown and Blackness in females. And then, of course, Million Girl Moonshot and the NAACP LNK Youth Council. And I forgot to put on here also the TMC, which is our Think, Make, Create lab that the Beyond School Bells also donated to us, which is really what started all of this with this partnership. And the TMC is just, if you could think of a trailer that you see as a U-Haul trailer, except it says TMC on it and it has the Malone logo on it, and inside it there are so many materials that provide daily STEM opportunities for our youth. And it's being implemented on the regular, because we actually hired a lead TMC teacher who is just in charge of making sure both our preschool and our after school kids are getting regular STEM activities, whether it's outside or whether it's indoors. And it's just been an amazing sight to see all of this happening and unfolding in our summer program. So I just want to keep it short and sweet, but Anna, because of you and because of Beyond School Bells, not only are our kids getting these opportunities and experiences that they've never had before, they're taking them home and they're showing their families, look what I'm doing. This is something that they can't provide them, but they're going home and their families are just amazed with all of the different opportunities that they have to even show them, look, it's not just about the grades that you're getting in school, because right now, Black Girl School Push Out and the preschool to pipeline is a really real situation. It's about what you can do that you don't even get time to learn about in school, and what you might pursue once you graduate school, and just have a world of opportunities for success. So I just want to thank you for everything that you guys are doing.
Well, thank you so much, Ms. Miki and Michelle. We're going to just speed up. Kim, if you just want to go to the last one, since we're ending, we're running a little bit over time. What I wanted you all to see today is the pipeline of opportunities with this Million Girl Moonshot initiative, from being an after-school provider like the Malone Center, where you are inspiring young girls and their families and a diversity of youth in STEM-rich experiences that make them think about having a STEM identity and make them think about careers in STEM, and give them the confidence to continue on that trajectory. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you have a company that is committed to diversity for just the moral responsibility, but also for the workforce needs. And our goal with this Million Girl Moonshot Initiative is that we create that pipeline for every single kid who wants to be engaged in this across the state. And so we will have opportunities for mini grants for your programs if you are interested this summer or fall in engaging in programs similar to what Ms. Miki said or what Michelle said are opportunities. We are happy to explore those with you. We will provide as much technical support and professional development support work that your programs need, especially in the space of equity and inclusion. If you want to really look at the programs and clubs and projects that you're working on and how you can ensure that they have equity and inclusion in the way that they are introduced to youth, and to make sure you have a diverse group of youth engaged in quality STEM, we're totally willing to work with you on that. And then we're also willing to help connect you with local companies, local leaders in your community, and be a representative for the Million Girl Moonshot for you in your local community as well, because I think there are a lot of women in particular that have really been looking to get involved and engaged in an initiative like this, recognizing that the work that we do on the local level and on the state level is adding to a whole nationwide movement to engage, again, 1 million more girls and help close that gender and diversity gap that exists in our careers. So I'm happy to take any additional questions. Please feel free to always reach out to me and I can connect you with any of those resources. And thank you so much for tuning in today. And Kim, I'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you so much. I have been really excited to learn more about this project, how important the work is you're doing. Anna and at UP Michelle and Ms. Miki, I really want to get over and visit the Malone Center as soon as possible. What wonderful programs you're offering. So Anna kind of recapped how to get involved in the project so people can contact you, Anna, directly, or Michelle or Ms. Miki. And we'll make sure we share this recording of this webinar far and wide so that people will know about this really important work that you are doing. So thank you so much for your time and really for sharing this project with us. Let us know how we can support you further.
Yeah, and everyone have a good weekend.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, we will not be having any Stay Connected webinars in July. We'll give everybody time to just relax and regroup, and then we'll start again in August. So thanks everyone.
Thank you.
For joining as well.